Namaste, Suswagatam, and welcome to our Sunday edition of Gyan Ganga Words of Wisdom on our Virat Hindustan Sangam social media channels. As you know, we are simultaneously on various social media platforms, and we thank our viewers across the globe for patronizing our show every Sunday at 8 p.m. Today, we have an interesting discussion on a very topical issue, that is, will Modi now take a stand on the Places of Worship Act 1991 as directed by the Supreme Court? As you all know, Dr. Swamy was the first petitioner, while his petition number 619 of 2020 filed on 26th of June 2020 in the Supreme Court, where he challenged the Places of Worship Act 1991. Some other people also have joined the petition. And last week, there was a hearing in the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court directed the central government led by Modi to take a stand and file an affidavit within 4 weeks. So we will be discussing whether Modi will file the affidavit and take a stand, and we will be discussing with Dr. Swamy the background of the matter. We have discussed this program earlier, but it has more importance now that the Supreme Court is seriously considering the matter. So with these words, I would request Dr. Swamy, but before that, as we have started a tradition, this is the third Sunday where we are going to be talking about our various forgotten stories from history. And today we have a story from Assam, and we are referring to the great warrior Lachit Borphukan, who was a big warrior of the Aum dynasty, and he stopped the Mughals from conquering the northeast and going on further to Burma, Thailand, and other parts of Southeast Asia. So we today pay tributes to this great forgotten hero from our history books. And as Virat Hindustan Sangam always says, we will portray the correct history. So today we are talking about this great hero from the Assam region. We have another slide in Hindi, and then we have a short video on him. This is the slide on Hindi. This happened in 1672. We'll hear the short video.
Am I the only one that didn't know about the epic bravery of Lachit Borphukan? Let's dive into his incredible story. Lachit Borphukan, born on November 24, 1622, in Charaideo, Assam, was destined for greatness. From his early days, he was immersed in statecraft and military training, climbing the ranks from a scarf-bearer to the prestigious commander-in-chief of the Ahom kingdom. The Ahom-Mughal conflict was brewing. King Chakradhwaj Singha broke the Mughal treaty, and Lachit was chosen to defend Assam. Facing the powerful Mughal forces led by Raja Ram Singh, Lachit's strategic brilliance shone through. He fortified Guwahati, understanding its crucial strategic position. Exploiting the Mughals' naval weaknesses, he set the stage for the legendary Battle of Saraighat. And here's where his commitment was unmatched. He executed his own uncle for failing to prepare defenses on time, famously saying, "My uncle is not greater than my country." Despite being gravely ill, Lachit led his troops to a stunning victory in 1671, forcing the mighty Mughal forces to retreat. His leadership and tactical genius were so impressive that even Raja Ram Singh praised his command. Lachit Borphukan passed away in 1672, but his legacy lives on. The Lachit Maidan in Jorhat stands as a testament to his valor. He remains a symbol of Assamese courage and patriotism. Lachit Borphukan, an inspiration for all times.
So with these words, it is over to Dr. Swamy to start the discussion and give us a background, and then we will see whether the government will take a stand on this Places of Worship Act. Over to Dr. Swamy.
Thank you very much, Jagdish and friends, my colleagues here. I must tell you that we are now in a new era, and we must recognize this new era and make the most of it and take it forward. When we became independent from the British, The Prime Minister was Mr. Jawaharlal Nehru. He was not a believer in all these things like remembering our past heroes and so on and so forth. But to the credit of Sardar Patel, he insisted on putting up the the our past things which were demolished by Muslim kings. He reconstructed that. Somnath, for example, was reconstructed. And there was a lot of opposition from Jawaharlal Nehru when the Rajendra Prasad, as the president, said he was going to go and attend it. Jawaharlal Nehru actually wrote him a letter saying that please don't do it, we are a secular country, blah, blah, and all that. But he ignored it, and he went and attended it. And that was the first time when we came to realize that even after getting independence, we were not able to recover what we were lost due to foreign invasions. But slowly we find now things are changing, and the Ram Mandir was is an example. The recovery of Ram Mandir. Nobody ever thought that Ram Mandir in 1949, when the first attempt was made by ordinary people to recover the Ram Mandir from the masjid. That time, of course, the police arrested all of them, and so the matter ended there. But over the years, it's went on, and now we are in a situation where you can think in terms of recovering all the great places that were destroyed or put out of to our memory by the Mughals and later on the British. So this whole idea of now bringing to the consciousness of people begins with the Ram Mandir, where we had to fight, put up a real fight. In the beginning, the people didn't even know how to fight. And I would like to explain to you my contribution here. What happened is that it was decided that the matter will be fought in the Allahabad High Court, and so the Hindu pujaris and so on, they formed one group, and the Muslims who were running the masjids and so on, they formed another group, and they argued, and it took 25, 26 years, and ultimately the court decided that it's impossible to decide in favor of any one group. So they said a big proportion of 75% or 70% to the Hindus and the remaining to the Muslims. Both sides didn't agree, and so they came to Delhi to the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court also put it in cold storage. For about 5-6 years, it was in cold storage. And at that time, what had happened is that the Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee's government had DMK as a partner, and the DMK was very keen to break the Ram Setu, and they wanted the canal, the portion where Sri Lanka is on one side and India is on the other side, and they wanted that to be converted into a canal, and so that ships can go through between the two countries. At present, and at that time too, ships which come from, say, Africa or Europe and so on, they have to come to Kanyakumari, and then they have to go around Sri Lanka and then reach Chennai. So at that time, the question became, should we break this Ram Setu? Ram Setu was the one that connected Sri Lanka with India, which everybody knows who has read Ramayana. And so Vajpayee's government decided that they will cut through, saying this is all mythological and so on. And there was a big furor from really the Vishwa Parishad and particularly Ashok Singhal. And he went to court, and with all the sadhus, sannyasis, and the court threw the Supreme Court threw them out, saying that is all obscurantism, we won't have. So finally, a broken down Ashok Singhal came to my house and said, "You can do it," because in those days my name was quite famous because of the 2G matter, and how through the courts I was able to get many things done. So therefore, he thought that I can do this also. So he pleaded with me, and finally I took up and went to court, and the court then gave me the right to say this is a heritage monument, and we will not allow this to be broken for just a canal. And so that's how the Ram Setu was saved, and it is still not been declared as a heritage monument because Modi is not signing the file for the last say whatever number 11 years or 12 years he's been prime minister. Is refusing to sign the file, but it had been sent by the Ministry for Culture. They had forwarded the file to say that now that the Ram Setu has been established, we should make it as a national heritage monument. And I hope someday, very soon, if with Mr. Modi or without Mr. Modi, we do that. I'm just explaining to you, when we are today taking up this issue, what a long way we have come, and we must know this, and and increase it. After all, we are 80%, 86, 80, 80, 81% Hindus, and the Hindus can't remember their heritage. This is a ridiculous thing. In the name of secularism, you have to forget a past. That's out of the question. So therefore, this was an issue, and this issue, having succeeded, Mr. Ashok Singhal thought that I can do wonders. So he went after me saying, no, now you must get the Ram Mandir also to be done. Ram Mandir was hanging in the courts, nothing happening. As I told you that after the Allahabad thing, the Supreme Court judges told me also, what is the point in deciding this if we say 25% to the Muslims and 75% to the Hindus, neither side is going to accept. Even if we say 50-50, neither side is going to accept. So let it keep lying there. We are not going to take it up. So when Mr. Ashok Singhal became very emotional, and he was also not in good health, and looks as if he was going to pass away, he came to my house and he said, for my sake, please take this up and do it. Now, I had no idea what I have to do, but then, Ramchandraji is always there. So I found a new way by which I could bypass all these people who said it is my property or your property and so on, or my religion and your religion. I said that we have to go into the question of faith. And in the preamble of our constitution, the word faith is there. And that means if something is of a faith, it is outstanding. So I said our faith is that Ram was born there. And there is no other place in India or the world where Ram was born. We all unanimously, Hindus, agree that Ram was born where the Ram Mandir was there. So therefore, since we cannot go anywhere else, this must be handed over to us. It is on this basis that the Supreme Court overruled the High Court and then said that yes, this should be for Ram Mandir, and that's how Ram Mandir is being constructed. Now we are in a situation where we are now looking at the various other issues, and that is being converted into an act now by Narasimha Rao. Narasimha Rao wanted no more than Ram's to build Ram Mandir. He didn't want anything more. He said, it will be causing problems, etc. So we were of the view, no, there are so many temples which have been destroyed. We have to rebuild them. So they study was done, and it was found that 40,000 temples had been destroyed by the foreigners who came to this country and demolished all our temples. So there was a question, how can we do this for all 40 and so on? And there was a lot of agonizing. Then I pointed out that this 40 or 40,000 need not be considered. What we have to consider is what is a specific. See, supposing you have a Ram Mandir in, say, in Maharashtra, that doesn't mean that the site is a specific aspect of that, because Ram was not well. Certainly, Ram and Sita walked via Nasik and so on the way to Karnataka during their sojourn to Sri Lanka. So, but the fact is that to have a temple of Ram is only bhakti. It's got nothing to do with praising or remembering the birthplace or some special thing about Ram. There are Ram mandirs all over India, but they are temples which are not in the same category as if you build a temple in where Ram was born, where faith tells you where Ram is born. How can you go by faith? It's there in the Constitution. Constitution preamble, if you read, it says, it uses the word faith. So if there is faith, and it's a very large number of people, then of course, naturally, we have a right to say that here the temple should. So Ram Lala Mandir means where Ram was born. Faith tells us Ram was born here, and that it was demolished by Babur and all the other people who came. They, from time to time, people came and whenever the Hindus tried to build a temple, they demolished it. And so, but the faith of the country was that this is Ram's place of birth, and therefore this must be, we have to build it. And this is the argument I also used in the Supreme Court to the Muslim thing, that whatever you may say, you can build a masjid anywhere, and there's no problem at all. You even in Turkey and other countries, Muslim countries, masjids are destroyed, and they build another place. So in fact, Turkey has demolished a lot of masjids for building roads, and then they will build that masjid is demolished in some other place. So the Muslim didn't have a problem. It was only a question of prestige, that my masjid you are trying to remove. So what we in my argument, we said is that this is a question of our faith. You are talking about your property, and you can read namaz anywhere. You can even read it on an aeroplane. You can read it on the middle of the road. All that. So have a masjid for reading namaz. That's no big deal. I mean, it's something that can be shifted. And so you should have that attitude, whereas we believe Ram was born there, and therefore we can't go anywhere else, and for this we will put up a fight. And ultimately they also agreed with the court, and that's how Ram Mandir was made. Then we began searching which are the others. Now all these fanatics came in when they saw this is happening, those who snatch credits, etc., the usual stuff. All kinds of crazy people come once they see something is happening, and they will get a name. So the problem was, everybody started saying here also the temple was demolished, there also temple, and it turned out about 40,000 temples had been demolished. Are we going to break all 40,000 temples? And is it any theological reason? Is there any religious reasons why we should be doing so? That's where the issue came up, and now the Places of Worship Act was made by Narasimha Rao to say that only Ram Mandir will be rebuilt, nothing else. So in opposition to that, I had moved a writ petition, and that writ petition was being considered. Then the court decided to look at it in a larger perspective, and so now the proceedings have started, where I'm arguing not what the others are arguing. All these so-called Hindutva types who are saying they are more Hindus than anybody else. Those people want to rebuild all our temples which are demolished. But I have argued in this thing with the Places of Worship Act, in the context of that, I said that those places we have to rebuild where there is a specific reason for that place. So therefore Ram, because he was born there. How do you know he was born there? My faith. Can you challenge faith? No. It's in the preamble. My faith cannot be challenged. So Jesus Christ was born in Bethlehem. How do you know he was born in Bethlehem? Faith. So therefore, Muhammad went to from Al-Aqsa to the gods. How do you know? Faith. So religion has a lot of this faith. So our faith is that Ram was born there, so that's why Ram was to be built there. Now we looked around which are the other places where faith has been a factor and where it is extremely important. So then we came to Krishna. Krishna is also faith. That in Mathura, where the masjid has been built, Aurangzeb in fact deliberately said that where Krishna was born, on that place only a masjid should be built, just as he did for Kashi Vishwanath also, where they deliberately on his orders, Aurangzeb's orders, they built it after demolishing the Kashi Vishwanath temple. So after looking at the whole picture, I came to the conclusion that two of the places are left which have to be built, and the Muslims also must cooperate in this. Otherwise, it means that the partition was made for Muslims to live in Pakistan and Hindus to live in India. But we Hindus said, no, those Muslims who want to live with us, we have no problem. They can live with us. So therefore, we wanted to move it as a society where we are nice to each other. So on this issue, the Muslim population should accept that since we believe that Krishna was born in this particular place in Mathura, and since we believe that Lord Shiva brought in his own idol to put in, which is called it's a with a burning fire.
Jyotirling.
Yeah, Jyotirling as it's called. He got it put in 12 places in the country, and 10 places survived the foreign attacks, but two, that is one in Gujarat and the other here, these two were destroyed and could not be rebuilt, and therefore the process of trying to get it rebuilt happened. But Sardar Patel, after we became independent, he said, to hell with Nehru, to hell with anybody, but here the masjid will be dismissed, it will be destroyed, broken, and Kashi and Somnath temple will be built, which will be a Shiva temple. So the same way in Uttar Pradesh, in Varanasi, we have to build on that very spot where originally the temple was built with the help of Lord Shiva, who planted the Jyotirling there. And even today, when the masjid is there and masjid is working as a masjid, all the articles of our religion are available, and you can see. So therefore, I say that today, when we say places of worship, there are two places of worship which we have to rebuild, no matter what. If we are Hindus and worth the name of being a Hindu, then we must build in Kashi Vishwanath, and we must build in Mathura. If these two places are done, then it's all. And if you have a masjid there, masjid is only a place to read namaz. There's nothing religious about it. There's no one who says that their gods had come there. So he will give you another place to build, like we have done it in Faizabad, where to help our Ram Janmabhoomi, we said them we are removing the masjid, but we'll give you another place in Faizabad nearby, a very nice place, very big place. We give them a lot of money, and they built a very fine masjid there. The same way these two have to be done. So the Places of Worship Act is only one. This we are not going for 40,000 as these crazies are doing. So my petition is only that one is down, one has been achieved, two more have to be achieved, and no more. So the court has separated my thing. When the previous judge was there, Chief Justice was there, he separated mine and said, yes, mine is a special way of looking at it. Instead of wanting the demolition of all the masjids which were built on Mandir, we will only do one which is something which is of a special reckoning, where we can't build it anywhere else. Where Krishna was born cannot be shown anywhere else. There's nowhere in the whole of India where people say Krishna was born here and Krishna was also born there, and so on. There's only one place, and there's in Mathura. Same thing with this Jyotirling. Jyotirling was put there by Lord Shiva. Only one place, 12 places, but as far as Varanasi is concerned, there's only one place, and that is where the masjid has been built. And there's a farman of Aurangzeb, where he says that in the past also some people came, some Muslims came and broke it, and then they went away, and the Hindus came back and rebuilt the temple. So twice it was rebuilt. So the third time, he said, when Aurangzeb came, they should not be able to build it, and so they must do something which Muslims do not do, and that is, not only should they destroy the temple, but they should build a masjid on the temple. In all the past occasions in Islam, they never built a masjid on a demolished temple of some other religion. But Aurangzeb said, otherwise they'll rebuild it again. So therefore you build it on it. That's why even today when you go inside the masjid, you can see all these things there. So sum total of what I want to say is that this is real history for us. We have to live it down, and we have to tell our younger generation that yes, in the end, we prevailed, and we must see that our like in the Ram Mandir, which has been rebuilt, these two are also built. Over to you, Jagdish.
Dr. Swami, the most important thing is,
Yes.
viewers want to know, as per our title, whether Modi will take a stand.
Modi is too worried about Saudi Arabia, Dubai, and all these places. No Hindu issue he has taken up. He is representing Varanasi, and there the people many times have gone to him and said, please give them another plot of land, the Muslims, so that they can have a masjid and let us recover Kashi Vishwanath. And he said, no, I will not allow it. Then the sadhus all got together and invited me to lead a movement. And Modi called each of those sadhus at the top level and said, you are not going to do this. And the sadhus naturally got afraid that maybe they will suffer for it. So that also is gone. So as far as Modi is concerned, if I like I did Ram Mandir, that happened, then he will come and do as if he did it. But otherwise, on his own, he owes it to us as a representative of Varanasi to rebuild Kashi Vishwanath.
डॉक्टर स्वामी, मैं एक सवाल आपसे पूछना हिंदी में चाहता हूँ
जी
ताकि
जी
हमारे जो दूसरे लोग हैं वो भी समझ सकें।
जी
जो
जी
प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट है, पूजा स्थल विधेयक, और कानून बन गया 1991 में, तो इसमें जो PIL है,
हाँ
याचिका डाली गई हैं, उसमें आप
हाँ
पहले थे, और जैसे
हाँ
जगदीश ने बताया कि उसके आपके बाद और काफी लोग शामिल हो गए उसमें। तो आपकी याचिका में और दूसरे लोगों की याचिका में मूलभूत अंतर क्या है?
मूलभूत अंतर इतना ही है कि जो अन्य लोग हैं वो कहते हैं कि सारा 40,000 को ध्वस्त करके हम उसको मंदिर बनाना चाहिए। मेरा है कि एक तो हो गया है, दो बाकी हैं जो जो एक उस जगह की विशेषता है कि वहाँ पैदा हुए कृष्णा, वहाँ पैदा ज्योतिर्लिंग की स्थापना हुई थी। तो ये दो चीजों के कारण इन दोनों को भी मुक्त कराना है। राम लाला वहां पैदा हुए, इसीलिए हमने जिद किया। ये नहीं कि राम मंदिर बनाना है, राम मंदिर तो कहीं भी बना सकते हैं, परंतु
बीजेपी पश्चिम बंगाल में बनाने जा रही है।
पश्चिम बंगाल में राम मंदिर बना सकते हैं। जब राम जन्मभूमि में राम जब बन गया तो राम मंदिर बन गया, तो अब तो कहीं भी कर सकते हैं। हमारे घर में भी हम चित्र रखते हैं राम जी की। तो मैं ये कहता हूं कि ये जो बाकी लोग हैं, ये हमारे देश में ये चलेगा नहीं, इसमें खून खराबा बहुत होगा। दो ही हैं अतिरिक्त जिसको हमें मुक्त कराना है, जिस जगह को मुक्त कराना है, और बाकी किसी की वो पोजीशन नहीं है बाकी लोग जगहों की जो हम कह सकते हैं ये जन्म से जुड़ा है, या कोई विशेष भगवान खुद आए वहां और बैठे, ऐसा कुछ कोई ऐसी बात किसी और में नहीं है। दो ही दो हैं, एक में शिव भगवान ने ज्योतिर्लिंग गढ़ा वहां, और दूसरा कि कृष्णा मथुरा में पैदा हुए। बस ये दो के अतिरिक्त और कुछ नहीं। और मुसलमान
को कहते हैं कि प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट में संशोधन हो जाए, अमेंडमेंट हो जाए।
हाँ हाँ, वो तो मेरा संशोधन है, मेरा तो संशोधन ही है। मैं ये बाकी जो बाकी लोग हैं जो भीड़ में आई हैं वो बाद में आए, भले उनके नाम पहले आ जाएंगे, वो जाकर पता नहीं वहाँ की जो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में जो बाबू लोग हैं उनके पीछे साथ बैठकर क्या किया मैं नहीं जानता, परंतु मैं तो जाता भी नहीं हुआ। भेज देता हूँ मेरा पिटिशन, और लिस्ट करेंगे तो ठीक है, नहीं लिस्ट करेंगे भी ठीक है। परंतु हमारी लिस्ट हुई शुरू में, फिर बाद में गए और अपना नाम पहला कर लिया, और ये कहकर कि हम सारे 40,000 मंदिरों को दोबारा बनाने चाहते हैं, हमारी अलग से है, ये है वो है जो भी है। बट मैं ये कहता हूँ कि हमारे देश में आतंक फैलाना की आवश्यकता नहीं है। हाँ, जहाँ हमारी जो धर्म है उसके लिए तो हम कुछ छूट नहीं देंगे। और जब हमारी धर्म कहती है कि यहाँ कृष्णा पैदा हुए, यहाँ ज्योतिर्लिंग लगी, उसको हम छोड़ नहीं सकते। जैसे राम मंदिर, राम लाला को जमीन को हम छोड़ नहीं सके।
Dr. Swami, I'm coming back to the same thing what happened in the Supreme Court the other day.
Yes.
The state, irrespective of whatever Modi wants to do or may not do, but the central government has been asked to file a affidavit within 4 weeks.
Yes.
So irrespective of that, they will have to take some stand on it. What are the various options do they have?
Listen, 4 years ago when I filed my petition, the Solicitor General was asked to file it within 2 weeks, and he has not filed it. Then he was told once, twice, thrice, in 3 different meetings, the hearings that took place in the Supreme Court, they said, do it. And they didn't do it. This time also they has been told to do it. Will they do it? I don't think they will do it because they know where the credit will go. And that's all that they seem to bother. So I think what you are taking out is not for this time alone. Right from the day when I first filed the case, from that time they've been told file. 4 times they were over the 4 years. They have been told 2 weeks you filed. Even after 1 year they didn't file. Then again they've been asked. Again they have not filed. Now let's see whether they file or not. My view is they will not file.
So in short, Dr. Swami, you are saying that people like Modi or people like the BJP government, which
Yes.
outwardly and the fake narrative spread by their blind bhakts, they always try to portray that Modi is on the side of Hindutva. But when it comes to record, Modi has been refusing to take a stand, because I'm sure, if I am right, he can take a stand that we want to scrap the Places of Worship Act, or we want to do an amendment to the Places Worship Act. He can say either of the two, but he has refusing to take a stand in the last 4 years. Is that what is being coming out from the courtroom?
Well, you see, supposing we managed to do it in spite of his objections. In the case of Ram Mandir, he got an application prepared by Guru Murthy, and he called a meeting of all the Shuddha Parishad, everybody, but he didn't call me. And there he said, we should not agree to this matter to be concluded just now. There will be chaos and all. So therefore, Mr. Modi himself moved an application. His office moved it. And the Supreme Court rejected it. But no newspaper carried it. No newspaper carried it. So today, if Mr. Modi tries to do any of the thing, if the proceedings start, I think he'll find it very difficult. Now, let me see what in the next hearing, which is, I think, next month, what the Solicitor General does. So far, the Solicitor General not filed anything. And I know that after in the last hearing, he was very disturbed by the way the judges spoke to him. So he has to produce a thing. Otherwise, there will be a problem. The real question is, Mr. Modi, you are supposed to represent the Hindutva spirit. Why can't you even file your counter to whether you want to file it for me or all these latecomers who have come later on, who want all 40,000 to be liberated? Why is he not filing? What is the difficulty? And the only advantage they get is that as long as the courts don't reject, we don't want to hear him anymore because we've given him enough chances. That also can happen. They'll go on getting adjourn. So 4 years have gone by saying adjourn.
Dr. Swami, on the same topic, sorry, I'm taking a little bit of
No, take your time. This is
at a cost. There was one case of you fighting for deleting socialism and secularism from the preamble, which was falsely included or included during the emergency.
Yes.
I want to know whether the government of India supported your stand or did not support your stand or was silent, because many of the fake narratives which are spread is Modi is for Hindutva and he is for removal of secularism and socialism. So I want to know whether government of India at all took a stand, because they will dump it. They are dumping it on the Chief Justice, but government of India could have taken a stand about removal of secularism and socialism. Did they take a stand on that for the benefit of
Not only they did not take a stand, but the Solicitor General didn't even come. He was supposed to come. We had 5 hearings, and he didn't come.
So this is the priority perhaps Modi gives for Hindutva issues, even in the
Absolutely.
Supreme Court.
Yeah, he's got a friendly media, so they will not report it also.
I
I think Ramesh and Arvind can. I hogged a little bit of the
No,
time.
No, Arvind, you go ahead. I'll
I have
ask
a small
final question.
question. I have a small question added to what Jagdish said, and what you said earlier. The reply of the central government. Now, the court, Supreme Court, this bench, 3-judge bench, has also barred all other courts in the country to hear
Yes.
any such petition.
Yes.
Like it happened in Sambal recently.
Yes.
It happened
Yes.
in Ajmer,
Yes.
and there are
Yes.
many other places where they are planning. Now,
Yes.
Supreme Court has said until they get the response from the central government, no such petition can be heard.
Yes.
So I think that will force them to reply either this way or that way.
Well, we'll see about that. The fact is that all these people filing in different places, these are all, we don't know who's doing it and why he's doing it, and especially when they know from newspapers that it is being considered by the Supreme Court. Obviously, people are trying to stop it. They're doing that. Even my Rahul Gandhi's matter, somebody suddenly come and is filed a petition saying all kinds of rubbishy things. And of course, he has been pulled up by the courts, so that's a different matter. But the fact is that these are the things that are happening. This are it is in a way interference in the free press, free media, or not media, but the free our laws and so on are being hurt by this. You see, that's what we have to look at.
And I found it very strange that in the case of Sambal in the UP, the decision was taken in 2 hours, and the survey was ordered in 2 hours, and the people went to the masjid to do the survey. I mean, how can machinery be acted so fast, and court can decide on matters such as serious matters without even thinking?
Yes, I regret our chief minister in UP also is falling prey, because he, on another matter where he's asking the state, all the state machinery to interfere into the private residence of people to see that they don't celebrate the various the things that people celebrate on their own, but the state does it. I don't know why this is happening. Is he doing it?
जैसा आपने बताया कि देश में तो खून खराबा लगातार चलेगा, ऐसे तो कभी रुक नहीं सकता.
नहीं, डॉक्टर स्वामी कह रहे हैं, नहीं अरविंद, डॉक्टर स्वामी कह रहे हैं कि उत्तर प्रदेश सरकार ने जो प्राइवेट मंदिरें हैं, हिंदुओं के त्योहार है या मेला होता है कोई मंदिर में, वो उसका सरकारीकरण करके वो सरकार के कब्जे में लेकर वो मेला करेंगे, सरकारी मेला करेंगे हिंदुत्व के नाम पे. तो उसके लिए डॉक्टर स्वामी इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट में उन्होंने चैलेंज किया है कि सरकार क्यों हिंदुत्व के मेले का या त्योहारों के हस्तक्षेप करे. आज योगी जी है, कल दूसरी पार्टी आ जाती है. सरकार को कोई भी हिंदुस्तान या कोई हिंदू परंपरा में हस्तक्षेप नहीं करना चाहिए. If I am right and if I what I've understood, what Dr. Swami is gone in the Allahabad.
बिल्कुल सही है. बिल्कुल सही है.
And Jagdish, isn't it contradictory that on one hand, when Dr. Swami goes to the court, government does not take a stand whether country is secular or not, and on the other hand, they want to privatize take control of all the temples and other organizations.
Yeah, in fact,
No,
in places where they are not in power in Karnataka, or for that matter Kerala and Tamil Nadu, the local BJP unit is agitating that the temples are controlled by the DMK government or the communist government or the Congress government. But
yes,
when they are in other states, they are controlling the temples. So where is this? This is a total contradiction of what is supposed to be done. The BJP manifesto, the BJP ideology, the Sangh Parivar approach and ideology, they're totally contradictory to this. And
absolutely right.
in fact, Dr. Swami is fighting not only this case, he's fighting the Tirupati case,
Yeah.
he's fighting the Pandharpur case, the Kerala Devasanam Board case Dr. Swami has touched.
No, you take the Maharashtra case.
Yeah, Pandharpur case, which is coming up
There,
for next year.
our present chief minister goes and does puja as a
Chief
uh,
Minister or
chief
Deputy Chief Minister. He is
He
doing
doesn't do
puja.
puja for himself. He does puja for others.
And even Uttarakhand case, Dr. Swami, it was
Yes,
not as if it was an old takeover.
I
During
know.
the BJP regime as chief minister, where there were 3 chief ministers changed,
So, Dr. Swami, let
Dr.
me.
Swami challenged that case.
Okay.
Yes,
So, Dr. Swami, I have one observation and one question, Dr. Swami. The first
yes,
the question. The previous Chief Justice Chandrachud,
yes.
he has started allowing, even though all this controversy going around, he did not stop from excavations or findings or studies to go and find out. In the case of Gyanavapi, right? He said, okay, it is fine to go dig archaeologically, find out, give me the report. What happens to that, Dr. Swami, with whatever Supreme Court has said today? Whatever the Chandrachud said, is that all put to the back burner or stopped, or what is?
Yeah, because all that came out of that is that there are all these Hindu artifacts and all that inside the masjid.
Okay.
There's even a linga there inside the masjid.
Okay.
So, I mean, we all knew that.
Mm-hmm.
This built by Aurangzeb for the third time. Aurangzeb built it the third time and said it should be on the same place where the masjid, the mandir stood. Otherwise, they'll rebuild it again. And it's against Islam to build a masjid on top of a demolished mandir or church. So he violated that on the grounds that otherwise these Hindus will rebuild the temple.
So does it mean that any further investigation or any further surveys or is also stopped for now?
He couldn't. Modi couldn't stop Ram Mandir. He couldn't stop anything else. Where if there is a public sentiment, I'm 100% certain that all these things that we are doing for the Hindu community will prevail, and Modi will not be able to do more than just delay, but he will not be able to stop it.
Yeah, definitely delay, Dr. Swami, because in the past 10 years or 15 years, almost going to be 12 years now, whatever, we have not seen anything worthwhile happening at all, literally. I mean,
I know that. He thinks that once he's become prime
Hindus, he has not done anything for the Hindus. In fact, he's gone against the Hindus. In fact, when we were thinking about this week's topic, I even asked Jagdish ji, maybe we should reword this title also to be "Will Modi betray the Hindus again?" I think it is going to happen. He's going to drag this out. He's going to betray the Hindus, come up with some nonsense. He'd create a few diversions here or there, and he is not going to answer this. This is my thing. But one thing Modi should remember: in 1991, when this act was brought into place by Chavan, immediately there was uproar among things, and it ended up being in the demolition of Babri Masjid. Modi should clearly understand him pussyfooting on this or dancing around the topic is not going to be helpful for him. It is just on the other. It's also a little bit. I wouldn't say scary, but it's a little bit concerning that the current Chief Justice term ends in May, and if he wants to, pass a landmark judgment before his tenure ends, it's not going to be pretty. I mean, I feel it's just not going to be pretty for anybody. I'm positive that it's not going to be pretty for the Hindus. This is my thought process. I mean, I may be wrong, but I feel that if it might go against the Hindus unless Modi wakes up, mans up, and says, you know what, we have to, the Place of Worship Act is an illegal act, or we're going to review this in the Parliament. Because he's anyway shoehorning all other nonsense through the Parliament, saying that one vote, one day, one vote, this one election, one vote, whatever the nonsense is. I mean, for a complexity for what India is, instead of moving that one nation, one vote, the Places of Worship Act is more meaningful. Why worry about the one nation, one vote?
Yes.
I mean, his priorities are completely nonsensical. And the last point, I think you briefly came upon it. Modi will not do, based on Modi again, why he's going to betray he's after the Nobel Prize, so he will not do anything that goes against this secular fabric that he's wearing, because he says, oh, if I do this, then world will not consider me a secular person. He's more worried about that than the Hindus.
The Nobel Prize people are also smarter than he thinks
but
they
it
are.
doesn't hurt for him to keep trying. So I'm just saying,
That's right.
Ramesh, Nobel Prize is very far off. He has to first get an invitation for the inauguration of the US presidentship. Nobel Prize is very far off. I don't know why you all are bothered about the Nobel Prize. He is just now trying desperately to get that invitation for the January function in Washington, D.C. So he must first try to get that prize. And Rameshji, I want to tell you, Rameshji, don't be bothered so much. I'm trying to tell you, this man, if he betrays Hindu cause, he reduced our BJP from being a majority party to a party below majority at 240. The electorates, Hindutva electorates are very sharp, and they know how to teach people a lesson. This happened in 2004. It happened in 2024. So either the Sangh Parivar, which does all the ideology and the direction, they will see the writing on the wall, and when there is a danger that somebody is betraying Hindutva cause, they can even change him. It has happened in the past. It has happened when L.K. Advani praised Jinnah in Pakistan. And so don't be surprised that nobody is indispensable in the BJP. So if there is signs of betrayal, they will do course correction. That's what I feel strongly at today.
Yeah.
So somebody is watching. The Sangh Parivar is watching, Nagpur is watching, and the Lord above is watching. So many things can combine together.
Jagdishji, quick point. I think Trump knows Modi very well. One.
Yes.
Because, see, Trump is the biggest attention seeker in the world. Now, if you bring another attention seeker, I think Trump knows who to bring. Let me put it at that. I don't. Because
No, it's got nothing to do with that. I'm telling you, when Modi last came to United States to go to the UN, he wanted a meeting with Biden. Biden told him he's in his hometown of Wilmington.
in Delaware, yeah.
He will have a quad meeting there for his thing. So in the quad meeting took place, and it was for clearing some drugs for that guy who used to be a scientist and now is a guy who's spreading
Bill Gates.
Yes, Bill Gates. So it was only 1 point thing, and that's all that happened. Now Modi's problem was that he said that he will not be meeting Trump, and therefore he said it after Trump had said that he was going to meet He says that Modi is my friend and he's coming and I'm going to meet him. After that, he said, no, I'm not going to meet. I think that is what, and I've been telling Jagdish and so many other people that the Trump will definitely react. And this is his reaction.
At the end of the day, he may make him run around and bring him an invite. But again, let us see. I mean, I think Modi is desperate to run out of the country instead of addressing issues like Manipur, what's going on in Manipur and all those things. He wants to say, okay, please, somebody invite me, so that I can get away from India. Do some other nonsense so that I can get away from India. So please invite me. I think he's in that desperate mode because he's finished all Caribbean islands, Dr. Swami. There are no more islands left.
He can go to Bangladesh.
Oh, he won't go there, Dr. Swami, because then you have to address the Bangladeshi Hindu situation, right? So he won't address that. So because wherever there are Hindu issues, he will not address. He cannot come to Canada, right?
Yeah.
He's completely visited all the islands in the Caribbean possible. There are no more islands left because he's gone there and got award in every island. So there is not many countries left where he's not got an award. So that is why he's desperate now. So, but unfortunately, Manipur is still burning. He is looking for all those excuses to stay away from the country.
Yeah.
Because he's the prime minister at large, Dr. Swami. As we say in journalism, it's editor at large or chairman at large or acting chairman. He's acting prime minister. I mean, basically, he's the prime minister at large. I don't think he rarely spends time in what he wants to do. I think this Places of Worship Act, in my view, he is just going to kick, as we say, kick the can down the road or punt the football. Nothing's going to happen. He'll create some new nonsense and the entire thing will be diverted. By the time this Chief Justice will go, he'll just say, okay, let the next Chief Justice come. And that Chief Justice say, I want to hear again. And the cycle repeats.
Yeah, someone has pointed out now he is going to try that Kumbh Mela and make it into his own outfit. Putting a lot of restrictions and things like that. Yeah, somebody has in fact come out with it. Yeah.
Dr. Swami, I have a small question. You can react to that. RSS chief Mohanji Bhagwat has said कि हर मस्जिद के नीचे शिवालय को नहीं ढूंढा जाना चाहिए. Now it is antithesis to what the other Hindu organizations are doing. Now they are acting independently, or I thought they were under RSS. So these are contradictory issues. I mean, on one hand, the RSS chief says, he's not even clear about Kashi and Mathura, though they have said we don't want any movement. But on the other hand, all other Hindu organizations of whatever worth they are working for recovery of the temples. So what do you make out of this?
No, see, there is a question that when I don't know how Mohan Bhagwat's statements are being put out in the media, because you must have seen it in the media, whether they accurately did or they twisted it and so on. The fact of the matter is that we should not be in favor of liberating every temple that was demolished by the Muslims.
Right.
Okay. Because only those temples where the site itself becomes important. Ram was born there. So sorry, I'm not willing to listen to anything. That is a place which cannot be. We cannot change it. We can't say that we can have a Ram Mandir, Lala Mandir somewhere else. So as I told you, we are now into a stage where we need to only liberate two more, Krishna Janmabhoomi and Kashi Vishwanath. These two liberated. After that, there is no need. Any temple which was demolished and a masjid built, we can build another temple a little far away. And have a much more fancy, good-looking temple, more modern and all that. So this crowds which are now talking about every temple which the Muslims broke, they will have to. Then you shouldn't have taken Muslims in India at all. Why did you, after partition, allow so many Muslims to come? When the whole division was based on Hindus in India and Muslims in Pakistan, you went out of the way to say that no, any Muslim who wants to stay here can stay as an equal citizen. So if there's a fundamental issue, like is the case of Ram, or whether it's Krishna, or whether it is Jyotirling, there I think we can take a hard line, or like Sardar Patel took for Gujarat. So there we can take a hard line that we have now become free, and these are things that we have to liberate. That distinction we must make, and must see that nobody goes out of it. Nobody breaks a masjid because he thinks that there was a temple there earlier before.
Not only that, people are appealing that Taj Mahal was a Tejo Mahalaya, there was a temple in Taj Mahal.
No.
People are saying Ajmer Dargah, Ajmer Sharif Dargah, that was also a temple. People are demanding survey there. I think survey has been ordered or some such thing. It's a legal case. Then in Madhya Pradesh, there is a place called Dhar, where there is a Saraswati Pratima Bagdevi. And in Bagdevi also, it's a preserved monument by Government of India. And this is not only from Hindu side, even from Muslim side. For example, close to the Delhi Safdarjung tomb, people want to pray on Friday. They want to offer namaz. Hajj Khas, there is a place. I mean, there are places everywhere which are controlled by government, but both Hindus and Muslims, they want their prayer rights.
Yeah, those are things that need to be dealt with. But I would say that some of the things that you mentioned about this Madhya Pradesh matter.
Dhar.
What do you say?
Bagdevi.
Dhar.
Bagdevi. That is
Saraswati.
That is Saraswati. Now, there the masjid has been built just close to the entry point of the temple.
Right.
The temple is intact. It was not demolished. The British, during the British time also, they protected it. But the main problem is that there is a masjid, and that masjid, you see, is just very close to when you exit or you enter that Vagdevi's temple. So that Vagdevi temple cannot be moved, because that is it's like Ram Lala's place and so on. This is a site specific. Whereas this masjid is just a place to read namaz, and you can move it anywhere. Muhammad didn't come there and conduct prayers there. So therefore, there I would say that the Hindus are right in wanting that this should be shifted, and the Muslims should agree.
Right.
Dr. Swami, just as you have been telling us, even in Makkah, where Prophet Muhammad was saying prayers, that Bilal Masjid has been shifted to make way for some other building. So your thing is already vindicated that masjid is just a prayer hall. It is nothing significant like Agama Shastra, our temples are put up. It is just a hall.
Yeah, go on. Yeah, you're right. Turkey, same thing. Even for building a road, they have shifted a masjid. You can get it by googling. Do Google and you'll get it.
Arvind, I want to respond to Arvind what he said when he quoted Dr. Mohan Bhagwat. Actually, what Mohan Bhagwat has said, perhaps I'm just putting points together, and which Dr. Swami has been saying, why 3 and why 2 now. The Vishwa Hindu Parishad and the RSS in some policy statement have said that they are looking at only these remaining 2 temples in a dispute with the Muslims. And what Mohan Bhagwat also said was perhaps we should not look out for shivlings under every mosque. He was just trying to say that we are giving priority only to these two more temples and not anything more. So I don't think there was any misleading, but the problem is, even for these two temples, the great man in Delhi who's come from Gujarat has to take a stand, or we people should say he doesn't stand for Hindutva. If he's standing for Hindutva, he should say, yes, I am for the amendment, or I am for the scrapping of the entire act. He can't be a bat, neither here, neither there, like he is doing in BRICS and he is there in that other American supported. So it can't be either there or here, bat. The Supreme Court should say, you please make your stand clear, or we should tell the public he is not making the stand clear. Sorry,
Yes.
we have taken a lot of time today.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I think this is a very important issue for all the Hindus who have a special reason to demand Mathura and Kashi, as mentioned by Dr. Swamy. In fact, Dr. Swamy has been saying this for more than 3 decades, that if there is a compromise, this compromise has to be on the 3 temples. And by the act of Supreme Court in 2019, we got Ayodhya, but Kashi and Mathura is still there. And I think there's a very reasonable statement made by Dr. Swamy, and many other Hindus will support it also, that, and what was projected in media through Dr. Mohan Bhagwat, that every temple is not demolished and masjid is built. So every masjid we should not have agitation about. And maybe these two temples. Dr. Swamy, एक धर्माचार्य आचार्य सभा कुछ थी जिसमें शंकराचार्य जी ने प्रपोज किया था कि ये 3 मंदिरों को हमें लेना चाहिए, बाकी छोड़ देना चाहिए. तो हम मुस्लिम संगठनों से हम बातचीत नहीं कर सकते इसके लिए कि ये 3 छोड़ दो, 2 छोड़ दो, बाकी आप सब.
नहीं, वो तो छोड़ ही देंगे, परंतु उनमें भी एक्सट्रीमिस्ट
हार्डकोर है.
हाँ, हार्डकोर है. वो बोलते हैं उसको प्रेस उछाल के करते हैं. यहाँ राम मंदिर में नहीं किया, अग्री किया. शुरू में तो इलाहाबाद हाई कोर्ट में तो ये लड़ रहे थे, बट यहाँ आकर के अग्री कर गए. तो मैं समझता हूँ कि यदि उनको ये लगेगा कि 2 और है और इससे ज्यादा नहीं है, और कारण ये 2 का ये है, मैं 100% आपको गारंटी देता हूँ कि मुसलमान इसको एक्सेप्ट कर लेगा, और जो नहीं एक्सेप्ट करेगा उसको नेशनल सिक्योरिटी एक्ट में बंद कर देना चाहिए.
उतना हिम्मत शायद सरकार में अभी नहीं दिख रहा है. Anyway, thank you very much, Dr. Swamy. You have been raising this issue for a long time, and now Supreme Court has also taken note of it and started hearing, and government has been given some kind of a notice to reply. Yes. Let's wait and see whether Modi government will take it and take a stand. After all, I mean, the stand has to be taken this way or that way, and that will, I mean, as some people say, will expose whether Modi is for Hindutva or not. So thank you very much, Dr. Swamy, for giving all this insight into this subject. And thanks, my friend Jagdish and Ramesh, for anchoring this program. I also thank the technical team, which has been working overnight. And even before we have 1 hour, 70-minute, 1 hour, 10-minute program, maybe the preparation involves 3 or 4 hours. Thanks all these people who are working very hard to make this a success. The Words of Wisdom and Gyan Ganga, Ashish Shetty, Swaminathan, Tejas Navalgul, Gadgi Rakesh, Ishwar Iyer, Ajesh Nair, and Gurdat Shetty. This is the background team, and a lot of thanks to them. We will be meeting again next Sunday, 22nd of December.
Yes.
On a new subject with Dr. Swamy. Till then, Namaskar, Jai Hind, Jai Shri Ram.
Hare Krishna, Har Har Mahadev.
Jai Shri Ram.
Jai Shri Ram.